Welcome to day 4 of our Isle of Man adventure. After the grind of yesterday, we didn't realise how much we needed an easier start. We set off from Laxey with the harbour looking beautiful in the morning light. The legs were tired but cooperative, and for the first time in a while the miles didn't feel like that much of a battle. Reaching Douglas felt like a pause point.
After some easy countryside walking, we also enjoyed sightings of the Manx Electric Railway. We hit a highlight of the morning walking past the Groudle Glen water wheel, also known as Little Isabella. This is a restored Victorian relic in the scenic Groudle Glen of the Isle of Man, originally built in 1980s to pump water for a hotel and later revived as a community project, now a working cherished landmark within the Glen's walking trails.
Douglas was a chance to slow down, regroup and enjoy a proper break from the trail. We met up with the boys for lunch in town and the day instantly felt lighter. Good food, familiar faces and a reminder of why we set off in the first place. Whilst we were walking south, the boys and my mum and dad were riding the tram up Snaefell. Same island, a completely different adventure, and it felt good knowing we were all out there making memories at the same time.
Leaving Douglas via Marine Drive was one of the highlights of the whole route. After days of rough coastal paths, stepping onto smooth tarmac felt like a luxury.
Marine Drive was originally built in the 1890s as a dramatic cliffside road for Victorian tourists, complete with a tall arch at the entrance. As it came to an end, the path began to change again. Tarmac gave way to rougher ground, overgrown sections. By the time we reached Santon Head, the landscape felt wild and exposed again. Santon Head is known as one of the more exposed sections of the southern coast, and it felt like the perfect place for a wild camp. Quiet, dramatic, and a complete contrast to the bustle of Douglas earlier that day.
Early morning on the cliff tops, day 5 began, feeling remote almost immediately. The walking was tougher again, more overgrown paths, narrow sections and slippy ground that kept us focused on every step. Passing near the airport was an unexpected contrast, planes taking off and landing overhead, while we took a slight detour inland due to some very friendly cows who took a bit too much interest in us.
As we reached Castletown, the atmosphere shifted again. Once the old capital of the Isle of Man, Castletown felt steeped in history, with the coastline changing underfoot as we moved through beaches and back onto clifftop paths. The walking here felt unpredictable, sometimes slow, sometimes flowing, but always interesting.
By the time we arrived at Port St Mary and Glendown Farm campsite, we were more than ready to stop. The campsite was brilliant, spotlessly clean, friendly and welcoming in exactly the way you hope for at the end of a long day. There was another camper's kitchen, and this time we were offered dinner by some friendly campers, but we already had plans for our dinner this night.
We shared a drink, sat on an actual sofa, and swapped stories with people who'd already completed parts of the route. One thing they told us stuck with us. They said the best was yet to come. After the relief of Marine Drive, the wild beauty at Santon Head, and another full day back on rough coastal paths, it felt like we crossed an invisible line. We were moving well. We were tired, but stronger.
The coaster head still looked big and wild, but knowing that the best was yet to come made it feel exciting rather than intimidating. And there you have it, another day done. Just under 16 miles in just under 8 hours.
The tent we took with us for this trip was the OEX Phoxx 2 version 2. We got this for a bargain of £60 in Go Outdoors, and it worked well for this summer trip. It was lightweight, weighing in at just over 2 kilos, and with faster pitch. On the very wet night we did find it limiting in space to repack our kit, though it did remain waterproof in 8 hours of incessant rain. Certainly wouldn't be one to share if you value your personal space, but overall it was a good choice for us.
Thanks for watching. One more episode to go.